How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the skins for this week. And starting off, we've got a very colorful bandana for you. This is the colored Squama bandana. I hope I am saying that right. I believe that is the type of design. It's like hanging, I don't know if these are beads or if they're like metal rings. I'm not entirely sure. But, well, another definitely very, very shiny. Next, we've got a continuation in the Polar Hunter set by Vlak with the vest, there we go, and pants. So there we go, it's got those polar bear claws right there on a necklace, as well as a nice fancy looking belt. And there's some polar bear scrapes on the back of it. Not sure if that happened before or after the making of this. Actually, quite a few scrapes here and there. So there you have it. Next, we have a jacket for you, and it's the camouflage jacket. So there you go. It pretty much speaks for itself. It's got a silly little hoodie with a cow head and some big old udders sitting there on the back. So yeah, there it is. Next, we have a very smooth and tactical set for you. It's the ballistic set by Keck, and yeah, man, this is very smooth, ballistic looking. Very smooth looking armor that is meant to look like ballistic armor, and it just fits the metal face mask and chest piece so well. It's a simple design, but it's so clean and nice. Next, we've got another high quality set for you. This is the White Damascus set by Ted, and yeah, as you can see in between, I guess it's the different types of metal. So you've got the like steel plating or metal plating above the White Damascus. So there you go. Definitely has kind of like a more fancy but still scrapped together look to it. You can really kind of see it there on the top. And there's the back there. Next, we have another iteration of the Glistener face mask and chest piece. So there you go. The face mask hasn't changed too much, but the chest piece, they kind of changed it up to look a little more kind of like, I don't know, the padding is more cylindrical than I would say more than looking kind of like pecs. And then the back of it has pretty much just like the little sleeves. So there you go. Next, we have this metal face mask and chest piece called Storm. Might look like it might glow, but it just has this kind of cool lit looking effect to the lightning that pops, but it does not actually glow at night or anything. So it wouldn't give you away if this set were to make it into the game. Last but not least, for armor, we've got a spiky set for you. It comes in two different colors, red and green. So we've got the red one here. You can check out the green one down in the workshop link in the video description. And yeah, it just kind of has this really kind of like spiky, lumpy, you know, effect to it, which you can really see so well on the face mask. Lots of geometry going on. And definitely a very different effect, which is quite cool. Next up, we've got our deployables, and first up, there is an Ancient Secrets Furnace for you. And as you can see, there's some various things going on around here that are Rust related. It looks like an elite crate, and oh, a little too close there. Not entirely sure what that is. But then you got a stone hatchet, and then rocket launcher, and a few other things going on. Metal face mask, AK, there you go. Definitely a fun little furnace. Then over here we've got a couple boxes for you. The first one is a very kind of old beat up box that fits right into it, and it's the old military crate. There you go, it fits the name perfectly. And yeah, it just has a lot of detail to it that you can just really see. And one of those things that just fits Rust so well. Then we've got a kind of textured box for you. This is the well-protected wood box by Anubis. And yeah, as you can see, it has kind of like an electric wire thing going on with all the different code locks and all these little code locks wired to the top. And this might fall into the overly textured, you know, thing with skins for Helk, where it just looks too flat. I mean, they did a really good job with what you can do with the space there, but that might be the one thing that gets in the way there. And then we also have another box, and I just wanted to show this one because the 3D kind of effect is just so cool to it. But it's still a little early for labeled boxes, guys. So, sad face, yeah, probably don't be hoping on any sets unless something really does stand out to Elk. But I would still give it a little more time, at least until next year. Then over here we've got a single wooden door for you this week, and it's quite regal looking. This is the Lion Wooden Door by Bad Trip. You've got a nice yellow and blue design to it with like kind of an old medieval kind of studded look around the edges there, and then rivets, and a nice lion. And then of course on the other side, it's always nice with the wooden doors, as you can have the different sides. Moving on, we've got a pretty angry looking temple door for you. This is the Aztec Ruins Sheet Metal Door by Lifer. And man, that's a really angry looking skeleton there. Then over here we have one that is definitely on the creative side. It is the Scrapper Metal Door. And well, if anyone's ever played Minesweeper, this should look pretty familiar to you. So there you go. Moving along, we've got a very kind of popping out door for you. This is the Look Behind Door by B3D. And yeah, it has the little look behind windows, so to say, and just a really kind of carved, very tough look to it. And even looks like something tried to like claw its way in there. Then over here we've got a door that fits right into rust with all electric wires and everything going around, and the panels and everything. It just looks so cobbled together, and I know a lot of people definitely love that look with the game. Then we've got a couple armored doors for you. The first one here is the Fortress Door, and yeah, it just has this very medieval kind of old fortressy look to it. And on the back you can see it has, you know, the extra locks and braces and everything. Just definitely another well done use of the two different sides. And then over here we have one. This one's kind of borderline, and for a couple reasons, the textures are a little too sci-fi-y looking for what Hulk usually picks. The lighting's done pretty cool, but the main issue here is the bars and being able to see through. But who knows? Hey, maybe Hulk will change his mind. The other note is that when it does open, you can still see the bars, and that might be a killer for it too. We'll just have to see how that goes. Then over here, we've got a double armor door for you, and this is the Tomb Gate armor door by Werecat. And I went ahead and toggled the hatches here, and as you'll see, it kind of just opens up the skulls, and then on the back, it kind of makes like a face on a face, which is kind of creepy. And then here you can see, I think it was done on purpose because it kind of looks more kind of like industrial that way, but I don't know. It also looks like it was cut off weird, so just have to kind of see how that one goes. Also, the back door is back part of the door is definitely pretty cool looking. It even has like a little intercom. And then over here, there's the hatch there. So let's go ahead and kill the lights and take a look at the glows. So here's the first glow on there. Like I said, definitely has a cool glow. You can even see the little blue light for the intercom on both sides. Then if we go ahead and cruise all the way down here, the first one that's going to have glow is going to be the sweeper door. And then we've got a glow on the 3D looking kind of retro guns box here. The actual name for it is the Pixel Guns storage, so there you go. But there's already a pixel set, so that might be also an issue, I'm not sure. And then lastly, nothing too special about the glow on this furnace, just kind of a normal furnace glow. Next up, we got tools and weapons for you. Starting off, we've got a goofy little hammerhead shark hammer. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. Hammerhead and shark, it's just perfect. So there you go. It also looks like he might be dead. So hey, there it is, but definitely a fun one. Then we've got a mystical kind of rock for you. This is the Thorn Rock by Odyssey. It might look like something that glows, but it does not. Next, we've got another rock for you, and this one has all sorts of frozen fish in it. And yeah, again, might look like it glows. It doesn't, but definitely a funny idea. And those poor fish, man, they look really smushed in there. Definitely funny. Then we've got some stone tools for you that look like they're made out of bone. This is the Raven stone tool set, and yeah, you can see that kind of like, once you look at it, it's actually a raven skull that's kind of made out of, which is a cool vibe. Then, of course, you've got the matching pick. Definitely see the bird there much easier, and the little feathers there on the hilt. Then we also have some metal tools for you. The first one here have a Mayan theme to them, and, well, they are simply named the Mayan metal tools. Of course, you have to have the matching pick. There we go. Definitely some cool carvings on them. Next up, we've got a jackhammer for you, and this one is themed after the Lumberjack update, but still has its own kind of look to it. You know, it's not just a direct copy of what Face Punch put out. It just has the same kind of look to the metals and the colors, and is definitely a cool idea for jackhammer. It's definitely been some time since we've seen some jackhammer skins. Then we've got a creative little bone club for you. This one looks like a microphone, and yeah, it's definitely always good to see little, you know, creative skins like this. Next, we got a combat knife for you, and this one is simply the Arctic Hunter knife, and I mean, well, there you go. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's a simple design, but a lot of people like that military-esque look. Then we've got a little more complicated of a design. This one has kind of a more deserty camo. This is the ultralight combat knife, and yeah, this one definitely has a very cool look to it, for sure. Next, we've got a couple of crossbows for you. First up, we've got the Whirlwind crossbow by Ideal, which is a continuation in the Whirlwind set, as you can see that design there. Go ahead and drag the crossbow back, and there's that reload. Next, we've got another crossbow for you, as there's actually quite a few today, and this is the Greed crossbow by Phi. And it has kind of like a little more fancy kind of look to it, so I think that's kind of the Greed part there with the gold trim and the fancy kind of wood pattern. There we go. Next, we've got another crossy for you, and this one is the Unity crossbow by Chesser. And yeah, it looks like kind of maybe another attempt to bring a familiar color scheme into Rust from CS. So I don't know how well that will go, but hey, it's another attempt there, and we'll see how that goes. And if it wasn't, it's quite the coincidence, I have to say. Then, moving on, we've got one more crossy for you. This one's all kind of rusty for you. It is the Desert Dweller's crossbow, and definitely looks like it's been laying in the desert somewhere for sure. But you always have to love the stuff that fits the theme of Rust. Moving on, we've got some pump shotguns for you this week, and the first one is Nuclear Hazard shotgun by Fresh. And yeah, there you go. It's kind of got that orange, you know, warning look to it, and then it's got the nuke drip going all over it. You also have a nuke symbol back here and a red tip. Not glowing. Actually, none of this actually glows, so you don't have to worry about that with giving you away. Then we've got another pumpy for you, and this one is the Firefighter pump shotgun by Morpheus. As you can see, in case of fire emergency, I guess you shoot the fire. I mean, do it, I guess. Is that how that works? I'm not entirely sure. Then we've got another pumpy. Told you there's a few, and this is part of the Emerald set by Syndas. So there you go. Definitely has kind of a more clean look to it, and then it has like the little studs down the handle and the grip. Definitely kind of fancy. There we have that. Then we've got a sap for you that also has kind of a nuclear green color. This is the Scratch Sap by Scorpion, and yeah, it has a little blood smear, and you know, I guess maybe it was originally a bright green, and it got scratched back off at the top? I don't know. Next, we've got some SMGs for you, starting off with this digital camo Tommy. This is the pink camo Tommy. So there you go. Has a nice kind of wood stock, and the rest of it is pink, 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 and pink. You know, with a little bit of white and black in there. Then we've got another Tommy for you, and this one's a little more on the artsy side. It has kind of like a carved yin-yang look to it, and, well, therefore it is the yin-yang Tommy. Definitely love the pattern there on the top. Aiming down the sights, you've got a silver sight versus the black there, and a yin-yang kind of symbol. Next, we've got a continuation of the Toxic Wolf set with the custom SMG. Again, if you're new to this set, it does not glow, but does kind of look like it. Aiming down the sights there, you've got your typical green tips to it. And there is the reload. Next, we've got a goofy SAR for you, and, well, this is the fish SAR, and it's stockless, and where the stock should be is the fish's mouth, so it's kind of like this big gaping pit, and it's weird, especially when you zoom in with it, and it's definitely hilarious. Fits right in line with the rest of the set. Next, we've got a couple AKs for you, starting off with this very, very bright one. This is the Neon AR, and man, this thing definitely glows, right? It does not, but look at how it picks up different in light. Very much so pops. So, very cool. Green tip. And let's do that reload. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one's quite on the different side. This actually looks like it's hammered brass. This is called the Brass Heat AR. And yeah, it's a very different look to the body of the AK, and it's subtle but nice. And yeah, it just kind of gives it more of a medieval kind of feel to it, I feel. Aiming down the sights there, you've got some flames and the brass versus black tips, or silvery kind of, I'd say metallic black. And there's that. All right, we've got a few more AKs for you. Next here, we've got a Aloha AK for you, and we saw the Thompson, and now there's an AK. We'll just have to see if this set picks up or not. It definitely has kind of like a more worn look to it, which fits Rust. Aiming down the sights here, not too much going on. You can kind of see the faint design of a flower and a blue tip. Then we've got another AK for you, and this one has some crazy artwork on the side of it. The AR Primate. Look at that. Definitely some crazy, crazy art. Then aiming down the sights, there's a banana and a red dot kind of thing. Not entirely sure what that one is. Oh, there's a couple of them around. I think this is part of the design. So, there you go. Then we've got a more metallic and kind of culty looking AK. This is the All-Seeing AR. There's a stock and a stockless version. You can check out the stocked version in the workshop link down in the description below. And yeah, there's the stockless. And then aiming down the sights, you've got kill, in case you were wondering what you were starting with there. Then we've got more AKs, and this one is the Flaming AK by GBG. And yeah, it just has this flaming skull with like a old school army helmet, some bullets in there. And yeah, it just kind of has a hot rod kind of vibe thing going on. Aiming down the sights, not too much use of that there, and the black on the dark color could be maybe a little bit better, I would say. Definitely like the vents on the side that gives it that kind of car feel. Next, we've got some LRs, and this one is very bright. This is the Redemption LR, and if you look at it, the more you look at it, the more you can see is carved kind of out of it, especially on the grip there, and it has a very lightweight kind of look to it, which is quite nice. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a shiny red versus the dark silvery gray there. And there's a nice reload. Then we've got another LR for you, and this one is also pretty bright red, but it has words all over it. This is the Marksman LR by Andy Boo. Now, the only issue with this is one of the oldest rules, before I was even doing these videos, way back when, I think put in by Gary as just a default thing. They said the more writing you put on something, the less of a chance of it getting in, because there's so many different languages of people, or so many different people with different languages that play the game. There we go. So yeah, that might be a downer for that, but could definitely see a lot of people liking this design. The puff hit point, definitely some great humor in the little lines across it. Then we've got another LR for you with some art on the side of it. This is the Road Savage LR version 2 by Oasis. And just has amazing bear art on the side of it. Definitely very cool looking. Aiming down the sights here, again, a waste of that big empty space there at the bottom, but we've got some splattered, rusted kind of sights against the chrome there. It's quite the contrast, kind of. Then we've got one more LR for you, and this one definitely has some digital camo kind of going on. This is Commando LR by Smix. I hope I'm saying that right. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red versus the black. And there's a reload. And see, even you don't have to do art, you can just do a little something with it. Even just those little slits there makes it at least, you know, not look like the flat, empty space. Then we've got some L9s for you, and this one is part of the Aberrated set by MKE. And again, this is one from various other games. Have seen plenty of different versions of it, but none have really made it into Rust, so I'm not sure if the kind of e-sporty looking stuff is really Hulk's role, but it's definitely done well. So, always want to show that kind of stuff off. And lastly, we've got one more L9 for you, and this one looks like it's all just welded junk together, which just fits Rust so perfectly. And, well, it's called the Welded L96. Not too hard to guess the name there. So, sound off down in the comment section below, guys, which ones you're hoping to make it in the most and why. Always love hearing your feedback. I'll try to get to the right people, and we will see you later this week to see which skins have made it in. Stay rusty, and enjoy your week.